So I have both of these palettes. One is a little bit more beat up than the other. This is the blue purple palette and this is the green brown palette. I am a pretty huge fan of these because you can create so many lovely looks. I do think that it is missing out on some really nice matte colors. I wish that Natasha Denona came out with an all mattes palette even. I would really be crazy about that. Say the duochromes are absolutely gorgeous, and I know that a lot of people were saying that they have problems when it comes to these palettes about application, and I just want to say that I think certain synthetic brushes are going to work so much better for the metallic and chrome colors when it comes to using this palette. Also, when you dampen your brush, it's going to help enormously with the way that the color payoff is. And I don't know, I don't think that you need to use your finger to get the same finished look as the finger swatches. But what you could do if you don't want to use your fingers, you can use a sponge applicator and it will give you a similar effect to the way that a finger print or finger pad works when it touches things. So that's pretty cool. My eye look that I did was all with brushes, no fingers, and I do have to say, oh, and no eyeshadow primers. So I have to say that the green color here, it's, I don't know, is this a, I don't think it's a duochrome. It's a 16M called Emerald Green. This is the color here. It's almost like a duochrome, but not. Maybe it is, but I just don't notice it. But it is very, very vibrant and pigmented and glittery, and I really like it, and I didn't have any problems. I know a lot of people were also saying that there's fallout. Yes, this product does get fallout, but I found really wonderful ways to avoid that from happening for the most part. You just pack it onto your brush, and then you can tap a little bit before applying to your eye. You can also just do very thin layers and build up. You can also do a motion that I like to do, which is dipping into the color and then pressing it where you want it and then doing a swiping motion onto the skin. You could also just put a little bit of face oil onto your eyelids, a very thin layer, and the color is going to be phenomenal. I'll just show you an example. I will put a little bit of the face oil that I have onto my skin here, and you can see it's a bit shiny. I'm going to take this brush, which is dry, stick it into a green color, and it's very, very shiny. And this is my finger swatch on the dry area of my skin. So it looks pretty similar, but let me put a little bit more on for you to see. So that's what the color payoff looks like using a dry brush onto a damp surface, or using my face oil, and it looks phenomenal. You don't need to do a finger swatch. Alright, this brush is a bit dirty, but if we go into the same color here with this dry real hair brush and we put it on the dry area of my skin here, you don't really see the same color payoff, but when you apply pressure, it does get very sheer and shimmery. I had to press a few of these pans back into place because they were falling out here. I had to touch them to make them stick back in. But the colors are gorgeous, as you can see. Eyeshadows, I'm pretty pleased. I don't really mind that there is a little bit of fallout because, you're going to get that with anything. Even the Anastasia Beverly Hills Renaissance palette has quite a lot of fallout from the product, which I don't know if many people mention that, but it does. And, it's still a very highly pigmented and creamy blendable product. So we kind of just weigh the pros and cons and think, is it worth it to us? So I hope that this was helpful in some way, and these shadows are so comfortable. I never feel like my eyes are irritated by them like other palettes such as the Violet Voss Holy Grail and the Drenched Metal palettes. Those hurt my eyes so much. So my face has been cleaned and prepped for some makeup. I actually just recorded a makeup tutorial and then I found out that the file wasn't really recording, so here I am. I'm gonna do it again. To save some time, I did already do my eyebrows, so I left them, and as for my face, it's all been cleaned off. This is what my face looks like without any makeup, I swear. And I just put on some Vintner's Daughter face oil, just a little bit to make my skin moisturize. And I also put on some lip moisturizer just because I had scraped off some of the liquid matte lipstick that I put on and it was really hard to get off and it hurts, so I'm just letting my lips relax. So anyway, I'm gonna be doing a tutorial using the Natasha Denona brown and green palette. I also own the purple and blue palette, but today we're gonna stick with this palette. Thumbs up if you think I look like that little kid from Monsters Inc. I definitely think that I'm doing it. So this is my actual hair without a wig. And it's growing out, and I think I want to cut it back to being short. But anyway, alright, so because these eyeshadows have some fallout, I'm going to put them on first. I'm going to be using my two synthetic brushes from Makeup Forever. This is the 242. And then I'm also going to be using this brush as more like a smudge brush. This is the 216 brush. So I'm going to use them in conjunction with each other. I'm going to be using this color up in the corner here with this brush. So, oh, and I forgot, I did put on some mascara. I don't know if you can notice because my eyelashes are so small, but I put mascara on just because for me, I hate when I put false lashes on and then when you already have mascara on and you press them together, the mascara gets all over your fingers. So I tried to avoid that by doing it now, so that the mascara can dry. Now before, when I was doing this makeup look, I had in my colored contacts from Solotica. Sorry, I have something on my face. Oh, now I have a red spot. I had in my colored contacts by Solotica in Hydrocore Crystal because I was trying to do a makeup look using them. But because I have my brown eyes in right now, I'm gonna be changing up what I did in the other videos, so I'm gonna do some different colors. So I'm using this as the base because it's pretty matte even though there's a slight pearl texture. I'm now going to go in and use this brown. It's highly pigmented. I'm gonna place, because I'm Asian and I have these almond eyes, I'm gonna place the color mainly right here. And I'm gonna go do the other eye, and then I'm gonna blend afterwards. Now I'm gonna just sweep back and forth and kind of do like little circle motions until the color has been nicely blended. I want to continue on by outlining a little bit onto the bottom of my eye. We're gonna use the same dark color that we used on the center of the lid right here. I'm going to keep it close to the edge of the waterline, but then smoke it out a little bit more. And because we don't have any foundation on right now, you don't have to worry so much if there's fallout or it's going anywhere, because you can just wipe it off. To deepen the color on the outer corner, I'm going to go in with this really nice orangey coral brown. I don't know if that would be an accurate description of this color, but that's how I'm describing it. And I'm just placing it again at the edge of my eye. Alright, so now here's the fun part. After you have the base, your little foundation for your eyeshadow down, you're going to pick a fun color. Right. So I'm going to continue on using this little brush here. I just find that this brush works in so many ways. I like to swirl into the product. I find that this method is the best for this product in order to stick to your eyelid. I'm not using any eyeshadow primer. I just don't feel like spending money on eyeshadow primer. So that's one reason I just don't use it. And honestly, if you want to use an oil of some sort, that will keep your eyeshadow in place as well. Alright, so I'm just doing the same thing and dabbing it onto the eye here. I'm trying to go quickly, which maybe I shouldn't be doing. But this color is really gorgeous, and I recommend using a really nice and dense brush that's of synthetic hair when using these duochromes or metallic colors, especially with the Natasha Denona palette. I feel like it really works its wonders. So I'm doing an extra press. Another good way to use these metallic colors is by dampening your brush first before application. It will look really nice, but I'm just showing you the dried brush look just so that you get an idea of what it would be like without any special pampering. This is what the color looks like when you wipe it away. This looks like it, no, I think it's just a metallic shimmer, but could be a duochrome, but I don't really see that much to make it a duochrome. But there are a lot of big flecks of glitter in here. I'm gonna pick those up. I'm gonna blend this into the green. I'm going to stick it at the the end of my eye. And once I press, I'm then going to press into my skin and swipe it. Huh, really nice. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with this. Actually, we didn't use this color yet, did we? Just a little bit on the under eye, but we're gonna go in and put it on in the top crease. Now this brush here, it's really nice, but it's also really big. So if you have a small area to do makeup with, I would suggest this brush. It's not synthetic, but it's still a very nice brush. It is by Zoeva. It is the 227 Luxe Soft Definer brush, but you know, they just make up names. You can just use it for whatever you want. So anyway, I'm just trying to keep with these two brushes right now to keep everything pretty simple. So now the last little thing that I like to do with some eye looks is to add the same accent color that I put at the top of the lid to the bottom of the lid. So I'm going to go back into the forest green color and mark right here. And then if you want to highlight your brow bone, they don't have, this palette doesn't really have an eyebrow highlight, but this color looks pretty light, so let's just experiment with it. Put that frosty pink all up in there. It doesn't look that bad actually for a brow highlight. I mean, you wouldn't really expect pink to do it, but it's such a simple pink that I guess it works. So I'm gonna start by putting my foundation on here. I'm using a MAC NC30, which is a little bit lighter than my skin tone right now. But my face and my body never really match because I usually tan my body more than I do my face. So I'm doing a little stippling motion. So I'm going to brush a little bit more of the foundation around my lip area so that I can define my lips a lot better when I want to add lip color. Because you're just drawing over your natural lip line. And then you can create a really nice shape however you want it. I don't see any streaks on my face, but let's just say that if you were to see any streaks, a great way to get rid of them is just by using that damp towel method and just pressing it against your face. It's really going to work. I've used this method quite a few times. So now now we're going to go in with a cheek color. I want to use Madly if I could find it. Madly is a blush color by NARS, but it can also be used as a gorgeous contour color. So that's what I'm going to use it as. Here it is. Great. So this is the color. It looks like it wouldn't look that great on me, but it actually does. So I'm going to use this brush. This is the 122 Straight and Wavy brush by Makeup Forever. I know it looks a little weird, but it's one of my favorite brushes because it picks up a nice amount of product and evenly distributes it across my face. I just want a very natural tone of color when it comes to this, so I'm not packing on much. That's all I'm going to use. So we're going to use Orgasm. And I'm just going to tap it in and then pick up some product. And I'm not going to smile, I'm just going to look at my face. And right here is where my highest point of my cheekbone is, and I can even feel it. So I'm going to put it right adjacent to it on a diagonal, and then brush up, and then brush over. And then do a little side sweep. And then if you want, you can of course dust it wherever you feel necessary. So lately I've actually strayed away from highlighting my face. I kind of like the matte look, and if anything is going to be sparkly, it might be my lips from lip gloss or the eyeshadow. But, you know, since we're doing this video, I will put some highlighter on my face. I'm going to use Becca in the color Opal. I'm almost at the pan. This used to be my favorite go-to highlight. Now I just don't really use it, but here we go. I used to also bring up my highlight all the way through my cheek, which you can still do, but I'm going to keep it pretty centered right above the apple of my cheek, and I'm going to just stick it onto the highest point of my cheekbone. And then I'm going to do a pull down motion so that it blends out a little bit nicer. For the lip color, what should we do? Should I? Actually, I don't know if I have Snob here, so I will go with safe word. The moisturizer on my lip, I think it's evenly spread out now, so I'm going to just put this on my lips. So this is the color Safe Word. It's really beautiful. It looks pretty dark in person. It kind of looks like it wouldn't come off pink, but it's really wearable and buildable. So if you do want to make it darker or you want to mix it with a darker color, you can always do that. That kind of goes with every lipstick. But anyway, I usually recommend using a brush, a lip brush, or any brush. This is actually a gel nail brush that I bought when I used to do nails. You want your gel nail? I love to use them for taking the lipstick and painting it on and making correct, perfect lines or reshaping the lips. That's why a brush comes in handy so much. But this was pretty new. I actually just opened this lipstick today. So it's still very sharp, so it gave me straight lines, so I'm not really worried about the way that my lips look right now. But of course, if I wanted that super bold and perfect outlined lip, I would use this. And I highly recommend it. They're only 99 cents from eBay, and they usually come in a pack of 4 or so. But if you want to purchase an actual brand, you can use the brush that I always use for my eyebrows, which is the 300 Straight brush by Makeup Forever. It's actually a lip brush, but I love to use it for my eyebrows. So with these lashes, I don't have a hair curler, an eyelash curler with me, so I'm gonna line it up with my lash line. We're gonna go in with this lighter green here and pop it into the inner corners of my eye. Alrighty. This is the look, and now let's actually make it into a decent looking look. Sorry, I know I look very dykey right now, and that's because I am. This is the real finished look here. Anyway, thanks again for watching.